This video is going to be about something a little bit odd about the legal system in the United States for safety equipment. Now, if you read the title, it's concerning, well, materials that can be used to make bulletproof clothing or bullet-resistant panels. Let me explain. As per USC Section 931, Title 18, any American, there are exceptions you can put in, but can own, buy, sell, and mail order soft, bullet-resistant cloth, body armor, vests, etc., without permission, authorization, registration, or background checks, because it isn't able to be used to hurt anybody. It doesn't have an offensive purpose, it's a purely defensive purpose. Now, please understand that we have rules in the United States for firearms, including offensive usage for firearms, defensive usage of firearms, the designation of less lethal is an expression that's used in the legal system, and also for some things that are qualified. Is there such a thing as a defensive-only firearm? And the answer is almost no, but yes. Basically a paintball diameter, basically a shotgun barrel diameter rubber gun that shoots rubber balls, can be considered self-defense only. Some countries even use that as a special exception or exemption. Sporting exceptions are for anything over 50 caliber, like a shotgun, that has a legitimate use for sporting purposes, shooting targets, hunting, that sort of thing. And for over a certain number of foot-pounds, because it could be considered a destructive device in and of itself, because it can do damage to, I don't know, steel plate or whatever. So if it has a legitimate sporting usage, we have a sporting exemption. We do not have a self-defense exemption or exception for firearms. In some countries they do. Like in France, you can have a 12-gauge handgun. It's a shotgun pistol. It's basically just a flare gun like we have here, only instead of plastic, it's made of metal. I mean, it's literally the same thing. But something as obvious as a bullet-resistant vest or piece of clothing, or just a panel you'd use so that when you're shooting at a shooting range, the bullet can't get out, these are safety equipment. So we don't have any rules against them. If you're a non-felon, 18 or over, possess and use is lawful, except in Connecticut, New York, or anywhere near a school, or during parades or rallies, protests, demonstrations, assemblies, or in any other situation where it seems like it's presumed you might use it so that you could get away with harming people and not be stopped by the police, and or during the commission of a crime. But those others are like presumption that you're going to commit a crime. Now, this is where I bring up this thing. Obviously, the exception in a school is students and faculty are allowed to wear body armor because it's clothing. Some of the materials that are used for firefighters to wear so they don't get hurt in a fire are also accidentally bullet resistant. None of this is bulletproof. Civilian New York body armor sales ban was proposed in 2022, and in 2019, Democrat Type 3 or higher body armor ban was suggested. Yeah. But it was only for if it can stop something near or at rifle levels. Something that can slow down or at least mitigate some of the damage caused by pistol rounds wasn't what they were worried about. It was worrying about people wearing something that was, more like what a police officer would wear. Stating my opinion, I don't think safety equipment should ever be restricted in any way unless there's abuse of it or something. Why are you wearing a fireproof outfit when you're not a firefighter? Are you planning on starting a fire? And it's somebody who's working at a oil plant and needs to wear literally fireproof clothing because they're the poor schmuck who has to go around turning the valves off so the fire goes out. Now, here's the statistics on other materials. There's dozens of them. Fiberglass, Kevlar, titanium, silk, ballistic nylon, which is originally that was what it's for. It's for flak fragments. But let's leave this off. 5 millimeter titanium plate thickness can be rated to stop steel core 7.62 by 39 ammunition, 12 millimeter titanium plates, almost half an inch thick, in an A-10 Warthog can be rated to stop anti-aircraft ammo. Titanium is king by some people's estimates, except for multiple hits. Maybe it's not useful. But the titanium plates are 57% the weight, not half, but a little over half as heavy as AR500 steel, which is used for actual targets. This is Abrasion Resistant Brinell Hardness AR500 steel. It's nothing to do with the AR-15. It's not certified, however, for ballistic use, but people literally shoot it with rifles and pistols all the time. So, I mean, literally, you're wearing a target that stops bullets. So, yeah, in most cases, the Kevlar has 5 times the stopping power at 19% the mass of some of these materials. So here are the costs per square foot. This is approximate. This is anywhere from a millimeter thick or thick enough to stop a .45 caliber bullet. $50 for titanium, $80 for Kevlar, $10 for fiberglass and ceramic. It's not rifle rated, but it'll stop 45 ACP. Now, I want to bring up, if you're not aware of it, polyethylene glycol suspended silica nanoparticle liquid dialent enhanced Kevlar exist. What they do is they add a fluid to it to where it's even better at stopping shit. And here are the ratings in no particular order. Anything from a rifle bullet down, level 3 something. Then we got 12 gauge slugs. And then we all go all the way back down to 22 long rifle, 9 millimeter, and other pistol rounds. Now, let's give you some more information here. Ballistic nylon is only for flak or fragments that are not going bullet speed or bullets. They're just pieces of material. An explosive goes off, sends pieces everywhere. The blast suit or bomb suit that's worn by people when they disarm a bomb is made out of ballistic nylon. Your average baggage claim bag will do it. Kevlar exists. Then there's Twaron, which is an off-breed type of aramid that's a lot like Kevlar that can be purchased. And if you can go look it up, it may be half the cost of Kevlar. So instead of $80, it's $40. But titanium may be cheaper. Well, the titanium in that case is about 3-4 millimeters thick and may or may not work. Bomb suits are just like flak jackets in what they're made from, but obviously different purposes. They are not stab vests. They are not bulletproof vests. They're not body armor. Body armor can include ballistic plates of steel or boron carbide ceramic, as well as ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, which is the current in vogue material because it slows down a bullet and stops it and that sort of thing. Now, what is this video about? Bunch of links below. Most of them are Wikipedia articles. It looks like a search engine optimized alphabet soup, but important takeaways. Unless you live in specific states or cities or even neighborhoods, you're allowed to wear what would basically be a protective piece of clothing. And the only time there's any kind of negative consequence is if you accidentally wear it during some event or at some location where they've banned them. And it has to be publicly posted in most cases. It'll just say no bulletproof clothing or whatever, unless it says, except if you're a student at the college or a student at the high school or that sort of thing. They allow them, this is one of the weird ones where one city allows children to bring backpacks that are made out of ballistic vest material with Kevlar panels, but not just wear a ballistic vest. So if they're that worried, why not just let them wear the thing that'll actually keep them from getting hurt? If you're not aware of it, the backpacks don't actually stop a bullet, really. They don't. The books might. So, yes, in the United States and in many places, many countries, they're legal because it does not have the ability to be offensive as an item in an attack. And the only presumed reason to exclude them is because a person might commit a crime and use this as a way to be able to keep doing so. That's a bit of a stretch. So New York and Connecticut and a few other places, boo. Next, I don't like rules that say that if a kid, I'm sorry, but if I was going to school in New York and I was a kid and I could get a hold of ballistic nylon or even better Kevlar, I'd make a panel. And I've worn ballistic clothing. I ended up getting one because someone literally gave, it was like a $2,000 overcoat to Goodwill, and nobody noticed it was lined with Kevlar. It would dead ass stop bullets, and I wore it for a long time, and eventually sold it after I cleaned it up and repaired it a little bit. Someone else is wearing it, you know, but I wasn't a high value target, but it was nice knowing that I had it on. But in my case, it was mostly because it meant it was fireproof, or at least fire resistant. But anyway, that's some information, some links if you want to read it. But yeah, in the United States, you can own these, and I I was looking up the fact that some cities had rules against it, and it just seems kind of silly. Anyway, most of the stuff you can get off of Amazon, and just make it. Bye.